Okay, do you remember what you just said?
Yes.
You look in the mirror.
Dara just complimented me how well I looked, and I said that I sometimes I almost don't recognize I look in the mirror, and because I have a glow and a sparkle. I never had that. Welcome to the new world. Herbie the love bug is here.
Yeah, you're totally sparkling, and you have that glow, and you could admit it to yourself. Like, for a while you didn't see it, and I would see it, but now you see it.
Yeah, and you know, and it's an ego thing, no question. But you feel good, and I'm just, that's another byproduct of the 11-month, which I owe to Dara, with getting me to accept and do the organic vegan plant deal.
The plant, yeah.
As well as I keep mentioning, all the pains are gone, and it's just my memory's much better, and I demonstrated that. Not that I want, but I read something about the 11 things that you shouldn't put in the refrigerator, and I took a couple minutes and I memorized it. Normally, my memory wouldn't be that good, and I'll recite that now.
Please do. We want to know.
Okay, tomatoes and potatoes, and garlic and onions, and alcohol, basil and bread, coffee, honey and hot sauce, and melons. Those equal 11 items.
That's awesome. Now we want to know why tomorrow.
I'm only guessing it because I didn't read each specific way, but if there's any kind of moisture in any of them, it has the refrigerator has to almost freeze it, and that has to change what kind of benefit when you eat the item, all the minerals and proteins or whatever you have, it has to be diminished or one way or another. Yeah. And I know though that like gin, people like to, I remember they like to put that in the refrigerator to make it cold.
Yeah.
But
that's probably not good for you anyway. Right. Either way, you might as well just have it cold. Who cares?
That's why I can spend money on organic vegan. I don't buy any alcohol or beer.
Right.
Right. No, but I was just a social drinker. If
you hardly drank, but still.
Right. But and I never was a smoker.
If you just spend your money on the good food, just good food, it's a simple life.
Yes.
And other things start to become less important, right?
And as well as now you see more beauty around you that you could attract, and there's so much that's free. You take a walk in a park or in a trail.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't have to be expensive. You can,
Yes. Simplify.
Yeah. And I mentioned a couple other people.
Beautiful.
I feel so, besides what's happening to myself, but the community that Dara's invited me into, that it's a very happy, healthy community. Most people are very health conscious. They're organic or vegan plant eaters. They're non-smokers. If they have a glass of wine every 1 or 2 weeks, it's a lot, and they don't talk about what it's more interesting and what now I've learned is more normal.
Yeah, what's more normal?
Their conversation and things that they're interested in, and in general. And I never hear arguments. Now that I think about it,
right.
There's discussions, but I don't hear any And I've been here since the middle of October, so that's 7.5 months. I don't think I've seen anyone really yelling at each other or some kind of fight in the street or something.
Because people are pretty. When you eat this way, It's your body becomes alkaline. And the pH balance in your body, it balances out. So when you're too acidic and you're eating foods that cause acid in your body, it causes an acidic nature. I hope I can hear you. Gosh, I hope the sound is okay in this. I should have put the mic on.
Okay.
Gosh, I'm going closer. Anyway, you look amazing. Anyway, acidic nature makes people acidic and bitter and angry. And when you're alkaline, you're calmer and more peaceful. It's really hard to be aggressive when you're a plant-based eater.
Yeah, well, based on experience and different things, that usually alcohol, leads to that kind of behavior.
Because it toxifies the liver, and liver is what stores the anger. So if the liver isn't healthy and working well, the bile gets caught and toxins aren't leaving. What do you want? What's going on?
Bark.
Hi. You happy? Who's happy? So anyway, Herbie, you're the best.
Well,
you're inspiring people all over the world.
Well,
Yeah, you are.
It's certainly nice to hear those things, but keep in mind, I'm doing it for my own self-improvement, which has happened and is happening. So
Yep.
my quality of life has changed completely 180 degrees, you can say. Yeah, because,
So good.
people my age that I meet in different situations or talk over the phone to some old friends who are still alive in the East Coast. And, I mean, everyone, they're not in wheelchairs, thank God, but they, they all have different pains or weaknesses that affect their quality of life.
And you tell them about the plant food, and they're not...
Well, I mention it and without being browbeating or preaching. If they want to hear about it, fine. If they don't,
Right. Because you were upset at first for a little while because you couldn't understand why they wouldn't...
Yeah, I mean...
You've got the secret to youth.
Like we said, I'm living proof of what it can happen. And I'm not the only person that's had this kind of improvement, but I'm the only one, or one of the few, that have been on videos, in this case with my lovely daughter, Dara, and who has, I figured out when I came here in October, you had 25,000 people on YouTube, and now you have over 37,000. So in that's roughly 7.5 months. So that's 1,500 new members a month, and it's really, and it's all over the world. I see responses, whether it be from Ireland or from Australia, Japan,
Croatia.
Spain.
Yeah.
Of course, in America, and or even some from Canada. I don't know if I notice anything from Mexico, but there is a tremendous number of people all over the world who are interested in eating better to have better health and quality of life.
Yeah.
And the old, got to keep repeating: you are what you eat. And if you're eating food that's has antibiotics, that's been sprayed with chemicals, with MGOs that were planted to grow the food, you're digesting or ingesting, whatever the right word is, you're putting poison in your body. Now, whether it's going to take 3 years or 30 years to have a cumulative effect, I'm not in a position to say that, but there's many people who don't have the luxury of reaching old age, who have at below 50, that people are hurting, depending on what they were eating. And in the last 10 years, it's in the thousands as the different items that are in the grocery store that have MGOs. I saw a figure, I don't know how true it is, but I'm just quoting it. They said 30,000 items in the supermarket have MGOs or have been, fruits and vegetables have been sprayed and things of that sort.
Yeah.
So I mean and the idea that in Europe the vast majority of countries won't allow MGOs, and the big food companies from America understand that, and because they're interested in selling the whole world, there they sell the good food, the natural food, and here in America, they have lobbyists who arrange that it's okay to sell food that contains chemicals and antibiotics and MGOs, and it doesn't make sense because America has to spend extra money at hospital bills, whether people have insurance or not, because emergency rooms can't turn down someone. At least that's what I understand. And in terms of two factors that I noticed, in terms of life expectancy, America, like, is of the 180 odd countries I think in the world, we're about number 42. That tells you something, and we outspend the whole world in the medical care and so on. And the other thing is that that things have changed in Washington with the amount of lobbyists who wear outfits that we've been made to believe that are supposed to help the public, like FDA and so on, that more and more they're citing and finding excuses, so to speak, as to why it's okay for them to use the MGOs and the sprays and the antibiotics, what they give to the cattle, what they feed the cattle, what they inoculate the poultry and farm fishing, and just so many things that were way out of proportion, that the vast majority of people in this country are eating the wrong thing.
And did you not know, when I went home to visit you for Thanksgiving 2 years ago, and you read on AOL about what they're doing to the turkeys, and you said, I don't want that in my body, and I don't like the way they're treating the animals. Was that the first time you read about it?
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
That wasn't an AOL. I think that was in the Parade magazine, I think.
Okay, well, either way, that was the first time that you were made aware of how they treat factory animals.
Right.
And you stopped eating it that day.
Right. And also another strange thing, that in America you have pros and cons, is in Europe, the vast majority of countries don't allow the water to contain fluoride.
Right.
In this country, there's a lot of evidence showing that it's not the right thing, because it is a chemical.
Yes.
And you're drinking it. And again, some people won't ever have an effect for many, many years, and other people will show up much sooner, depending on their whole inflammation in their body, in terms of how their defense mechanism and the will fight off infections and so on. So sure, there are examples of people who smoke or drink a lot of alcohol who live to old age, but the vast majority of people, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Right. Well.
Meanwhile, I'm looking at you, and you look like a movie star. You look like a movie star, Harvey. I am so tickled and delighted. Your smile makes people so happy. I get emails every day, just how much you've inspired people, and they've really decided to become raw because of you. And they've decided, one lady sent me a message saying she decided to put the makeup back. And she wasn't going to get the organic berries. She was at Target because they were expensive. And then she looked at her cart and she saw she had mascara she didn't need and another piece of makeup she didn't need. And she put that back and she went and got the berries because she thought of you.
That's nice.
Yeah. So your wish is to help just one person, and you're going to be helping a lot more than that. So. Well,
listen, I'm only expanding on the great foundation that you made for me.
I did. Now you've got a nice job ahead of you. I love you.
I love you. I send my love to all you wonderful people out there who made such nice remarks. Thank you.